this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to Ranked. Now, this, of course, is the segment that Joe the Horror Man and myself do where we pick a franchise and we rank it. Very simple. Now, keep in mind that I rank things based on rewatchability, nostalgia, and overall entertainment. And also keep in mind that this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree. Now, today we're going to be ranking the Friday the 13th franchise. I know this is a touchy one, so try to keep things nice. And since there's so many movies, there are 12 films. Let's get started. Coming in at number 12 is Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Now, what I can say about this film is I don't hate it anymore. I hated this when I first saw it when I was younger. I hated it when I first started my channel. But I've watched it so many times with my friends that I've come to appreciate the kills and some of the things that they've done in this film that I didn't pick up on the first time. So, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday is last, but I don't hate any of these films, so that's a good thing. All right. Okay, coming up at number 11 is Freddy vs. Jason. Now, I saw this in the theaters. I liked it a lot, and I still like the movie. I guess what bothers me is the fact that whenever you talk about this with other people, they always say, oh, this is Freddy's film. Jason got messed up in this film. You know, this was basically Freddy. Okay, I guess I always took that kind of personal a long time ago, but that's kind of silly to do that. But in all that drama, it kind of fell in the rankings for me. So it is number 11. But I do still like it. And that body double. Damn it. All right. Coming up at number 10 is Friday the 13th, the remake. I saw this in the theaters. Of course, I've told this story before. Some of you maybe knew, so I'll tell it again. My daughter took me to see this for Father's Day. And of course, this is the one with the perfect nipple placement and, the water skiing topless. So it was a little uncomfortable, but, it meant a lot to me because she took me to see this because she knows how much I love Friday the 13th. So, yeah. This is a solid remake. I don't hate it. So, all right. Coming up next is Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives. This used to be one of my favorites, but I think as I've watched it, the more I've watched it, as I've gotten older, there's some of it that really gets on my nerves and some of it that's really cringe. Like ya bang and all that kind of stuff, and the old bum. Do they think I'm a fart head? But I will say that this is the one of the only, if not the only, Friday the 13th that has kids at the camp. So yeah, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Saw it twice in the theaters. Okay, coming up next is one I know a lot of people don't like, but I've always loved it. And that is Jason X. I love the Friday the 13th franchise. I think there is so much. It's just a fun franchise. You can get a little bit of everything, including Jason Goes to Space. And I love the kills. I just think it's fun. I remember sitting in the theater, being the only one in the theater to watch this, and I just had a blast. Just a great film, in my opinion. All right, coming up next is another one people seem to trash, and that is Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. I think information has brought this film down in a lot of people's eyes over the years. I think it's a really cool concept with it, like Carrie versus Jason. I think it's executed pretty well. I like the characters in it. It's just the fact that I think people found out that they had to take so much out of this film to get an R rating that people now say, oh, I wanted all the gore, and why didn't they put the gore in, and so on and so forth. And, I agree. But it doesn't change the way the movie plays out for me. And there's a lot of nostalgia with this. I've seen everything from part five on in the movie theaters. And yeah, I saw this one with a bandmate. He and I went to see this, and we had a great time. So, yeah. All right. Coming up next is Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Another one that people trash. Friday the 13th is my favorite franchise, but I trash all the movies. I just don't get it. But anyway, um, Friday the 13th, Part 8, I love. Again, nostalgia wins out. And plus, it's just fun. I know it takes place in Toronto, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Um, this is where my wife and I had our first real date. Um, we went to see this. So it has a lot of meaning for me. It always will. And I just think it's a fun movie. So Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Okay, coming up next, and I had to make a slight change in my ranking, and you'll see that now, is going to be Friday the 13th, Part 3. This was actually a step higher, and the one that's higher was a step lower, but I really thought about this, and I actually changed things at the last minute. Because I can do that because it's my ranking. But I love Part 3. I remember seeing this over at my buddy's house because we didn't have cable when I was younger. It didn't come to my area because, well, yes, I know I'm old, whatever. But it didn't come to my area. So when I would go and spend time over at my friend's house, we would watch movies on cable. I just thought it was the neatest thing ever. And we watched this, and I loved it. Just a fun, fun movie. And the one I switched it for is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I know this is one everyone loves, and I love it too. I think it's a great movie. And I felt it was a little too low, so I brought it up. This is the one I exchanged with part 3 because I do like this one a little bit better. This one is on the uptrend with me. So, yeah, I mean, what can you say about this? You have Dead Fuck, you have uh, Crispin Glover doing that freaky dance. It's just a great film. Corey Feldman is great in this, and again, nostalgia wins out. So, yeah. Friday the 13th, Part 4, or the final chapter. Whatever you prefer. Okay, coming in at number 3 is the original. And it hurt to put this at number 3, but that's where it fell. And that is Friday the 13th. Just a great film. Now, I saw this second. I saw Friday the 13th, Part 2 first. And Friday the 13th came second. But I love the kills. This really amped up what the gore and everything, which, kind of turned everything up for the 80s slashers. So, just a fantastic film. Coming in at number 2 is Friday the 13th, Part 5. A movie that I have always loved. I just love the fact that it's a slasher. I didn't particularly care that it was Roy. And even in my high school, my buddy and I that were in the same band, we used to pass by each other in the hallway quoting Friday the 13th, Part 5. Um, it's always been in my life. It's funny. Um, I don't know. And you have Deborah Sue Voorhees. My God. I mean, how can this not be number 2? So, yeah. Part 5, in at number 2, which leaves my favorite 80s slasher, my favorite horror movie, and that is Friday the 13th Part 2. This was the second horror movie I ever saw when I was old enough to start watching horror movies. I mean, technically the third movie if you want to go that far, because I did see Godzilla vs. Megalon in the theaters when I was like 5. But when I started watching slasher movies at the age of 9 or 10 or however old I was, this was the second movie. The first one was Happy Birthday to Me. We went to the video store, same person. We went on a sleepover. It was a birthday party, and we watched Friday the 13th Part 2. And then we went out and played flashlight tag. So, which was actually quite creepy in the dark. So, yeah, Friday the 13th Part 2, fantastic film. I love it. I can watch it endlessly. So, yeah, that's my number 1. Don't forget to check out Joe's ranking of Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone. And remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.